Hello and welcome back to the YouTube channel of Bethel Evangelical Free Church Hanley. I'm Pastor Gervais Charming. This is another historic church in Cumbria. This is the Church of St Catherine, Eskdale. This is the historic Eskdale Parish Church. St Beggars, the last video, was a mission church down the valley from this. This is up at the top of the valley, and it's always known as St Catherine Boot because Boot is the local pub, and the pub's on the main road. The church is down the hill by the river out of sight. So Boot tells you where to find the church. It's a 12th century building, probably around about 1125, restored in 1881. The furnishings are largely early 20th century, war memorial. There is a medieval font. There's a lot of stained glass, and so let's get to it. And so here we are looking west. From the west end, and so east rather, we're at the west end, yes, so we start as usual at the west end. And we have a nice font here. This is 14th, maybe 15th century. It's a bit hard to tell because, of course, out here it's very possible that you've got older styles sort of persevere a bit longer when they've gone out of fashion elsewhere. As I said, there's stained glass windows, stained glass in all the windows basically. Here we have here, this is a Mary Magdalene focused. You can see she's pictured here watching Christ carrying the cross, watching crucifixion, and then she's pictured at the resurrection. We've got it says Christ teaching, probably Sermon on the Mount, and I won't go around all of them, but they are the main point of interest here. Here we've got an old bell in the window, but we've also got the Last Supper. Last Supper is a difficult one to depict, of course, because you end up having to have basically everybody sitting, well, at this point they're basically crowded around the ends of the tables with just your three figures in the middle, Christ and the Apostle John and the Apostle Peter, and you can see Judas has his money bag and he hasn't got a halo. And yeah, and that is the bell is 15th century. Used to be used, but it's no longer works, it's no longer usable. Pulpit, very simple. The choir stalls are war memorial. They commemorate Tom Dalrymple Strathern, who was a second lieutenant in the Yorkshire Regiment and killed at the Battle of the Somme. Very nice, again, early 20th century, reredos, and the east window we've got St Catherine, who of course the church is dedicated to, and St Cecilia, either side of Christ the Good Shepherd. This is a sheep farming community, so the Good Shepherd is appropriate. We have here, this is the Annunciation, but the features of the Virgin Mary are actually those of Theodora Isowyn Taylor. Now, we have got a name here, but I can't quite make out who made it. But this is brief fashion for these photographic stained glass where the face of the deceased is depicted. And it's a brief fashion. 1894 she died at about that time. It perseveres till after the First World War, and then essentially goes away. There's no pipe organ here, and so we have here, we've got faith and hope, and in the middle we have the restoration of St Peter. So that is the inside here at St Catherine's, Eskdale. Let's go outside now. And so we're outside here at St Catherine's, and you can see again this very simple form. There's no structural distinction between nave and chancel. It's just a single low building. Very simple to build, of course, and it's so typical of these churches. Eskdale, of course, is another one of these cases where the parish is basically the valley. The people lived in the valley, and the hills are not up here are not very hospitable for anything very much, but you farmed in the valleys, and you'd have a church that you would attend, and this is just the burials took place here. So we'll have a look around the outside and point out some of the salient features. So here we are. There are many churches very like this in the Lake District because it's just the simplest form to build. You don't need to worry about joining a chancel and a nave. You just build a single rectangular box and bells at the back. The Lake District, of course, is famous for its scenery, and up here we're quite high up in Eskdale. You go much further up, you end up at Hard Knot Pass, which is not much fun. I speak from experience. I have gone over it once, and I think once is about enough to convince you not to go over it again. You've got the beck here, the stream running by, and you can see there that if you're brave you can cross there, if you're not you don't. I'm not. But quite a good walk, and then up there, Hard Knot Pass is up there, and so it's a fair amount of rubber from off my tyres. But to come back to St Catherine's, good porch. It would originally have been rendered rather than this sort of crazy paving effect with not brilliant pointing, but there we go. This is the perhaps most interesting grave here, second most interesting gravestone. This is Thomas Dobson, Tommy Dobson, master of the Eskdale and Annandale foxhounds. He started the pack, and hunting here was on foot. Fox hunting on foot. You can see he's got his hound and his horn, and there's the head of a fox, and it was on foot because riding to hounds here was a bad idea. Of course it doesn't happen anymore, but John Peel, dear Ken John Peel, with his coat so gay, with his horn and his hound in the morning, he was one of these Cumberland fox hunters. So beautiful scenery. You can probably see a pair of chimneys here, white chimneys. That's the Boot Inn, and you turn right by the Boot Inn to get here. On the well, if you're coming up from Eskdale Green, on the unlikely occasion of coming over the Hard Knot Pass, you turn left and go into the church to give thanks for your safe arrival, because it's scary. I did it on a winter's evening, which is about the worst time to do it, but this is of course the north side, and you can see the craggy mass up there, the mountains. Really is a spectacular sight here. One of the higher churches here, not in terms of its churchmanship, of course, but in terms of its just geography. So that is, well, let's go round, in fact, round the east end, because you can on this occasion, in this place. You will notice the chimney, very important. Heating here, because in the winter it's very cold. It does. This is all places where if it snows anywhere, it snows here. So, East End, as we saw inside, the window is quite simple, square-headed. The original Norman windows would have been tiny slits in the walls, nothing more than that. Spring, so we've got some nice daffodils out. Have to have daffodils in the Lake District, and this is very much the area that Wordsworth likes. It's the area that is celebrated by so many for the Lake District for its beauties. So let's come around here, St Catherine's, Eskdale. And so there you have it, St Catherine's, Eskdale. Beautiful church, beautiful location, and very much a place to wander at. There was a holy well here. It was a pilgrimage site at one point, and people would walk up the valley to wash at the well or to drink its waters. And now it's a peaceful place of quiet contemplation with the river running running by. Well, thanks for watching, and may God bless you and keep you until next time.